Ralston, and I'm the founder of Next Tribe, and I want to welcome everyone to our virtual tour of Southern India. This is how we're going to look and see all that we're going to experience on this fabulous trip that Kiki Keating has come up with for us. And I want to introduce Kiki to all of you. And then I'm going to.
Don't you think, Jeannie, maybe we should wait another minute, because it seems like a bunch of other people are signing on now?
Yeah, they'll be signing on, I think.
Okay.
So I think we'll go.
Okay, go for it.
And as they sign on. So anyway, I want to welcome everyone. And I'm here with Kiki Keating, who is an expert in India. She's done 17 trips to India already, and she's come up with this fabulous plan to see Southern India. Welcome, Kiki. Thanks for coming.
Love being here. So excited.
And I want to start off by telling you a little bit about Next Tribe Travel, and then we're going to go through the trip, what we're going to see on different days, look at some pictures, look at the schedule, and then at the end, we'll open it up for questions, because I'm sure you'll have some questions on how this is all going to work. But I wanted to tell you that we started Next Tribe, the travel part of Next Tribe. You might know Next Tribe as the magazine, but for the first year we were a magazine, I started offering trips because I've done lots of trips. I've done travel writing for, Condé Nast Traveler, New York Times, and so forth. And I've also put together some really complicated trips for my family when we were homeschooling and traveling. And so I was like, I can do this. So I started taking women to San Miguel de Allende in Mexico, where I used to live. And what I've found is this is such an incredible way for women to bond and for all of us to kind of come together to explore the world. And one of the great things about these trips is how quickly the groups bond. And it's from a number of factors. I think it's because if you embrace this idea of aging boldly, you are going to already get along. You're going to be compatible with the other women on the trip who have that same philosophy. And also, either I or someone like Kiki or somebody from Next Tribe itself is always on the trip. So we're always there to kind of make sure everyone feels taken care of, included, embraced. And it's a beautiful way to travel. It's not like we hand you off to some guide that we don't really know or don't have a personal connection with. So so far I myself have led all the trips, but as we're adding more destinations, we have so much demand for women who want to travel with us that we're adding more destinations and more trips. And of course, I'm not going to be able to do all of them. So that's what led me to Kiki. And I had two different people who didn't even know each other tell me I have to meet Kiki Keating and see the kind of trip she's doing. So I've met Kiki in person, and we said we have to work together. And so she came up with this idea of starting off in Southern India. And I know Kiki, you could have gone to so many places in India, but you chose Southern India. Is that one of your favorite parts of India? Or
well, I think for a first-time traveler to India, it's a lovely, lovely trip. And my hope is that everyone will want to fall in love with it and come to another part of India with me, which many of my friends and travelers have done. But yeah, there's this is on the sea most of the time. And it's beautiful, and we're going to see some incredible temples and history and meet some lovely people. It's not as crowded as some of the other parts of India. So it's a great, very beautiful area that I love.
And I've talked about this in some of the promotions I've done for the trip, because I loved when I realized that Life of Pi, the movie and the book, was set in Pondicherry, which is one of the places we're going, and also the Covenant of Water, the big bestseller now, is based all in Kerala. And so I was just so excited when I realized those connections, and I just finished reading A Covenant of Water and just kept imagining myself there. So I know we're going to be really like in the most gorgeous area of based on what I've read in the book. And also, I think National Geographic Traveler named Kerala as one of the most gorgeous one of the top 10 paradises in the world, because of it has waterways and just the romantic, the way that the jungles are and the connection to the water. So so I think we could start with, if you're ready to talk about the actual planning of the trip, what we're going to see, where we're going to be, and if you're ready, I'll share my screen so I can show everyone what the map and so forth. So hold on one second. I will share my screen here. And okay, somebody just came in. So I like to can everyone see? So so this here is a great map, which was so helpful to me when when you showed this to me, Kiki. Can you tell us about, just an overview right now, and then we'll go day by day. So we're starting here in Chennai, correct?
Yes, the East Coast is called the Coromandel Coast, and the West Coast is the Malabar Coast. And just like America or Africa or many larger countries, in America, we could go to a place like the Moab Desert and be, absolutely in a desert for hours. And then you can go to lush jungle places, rainforest places like Florida, or it's the same thing with India. And we're starting on the right coast, on the East Coast in Chennai. It's on the water. It's beautiful. We're going to visit a female artist and have a little bit of a music event in our first evening. I'll tell you about that. There's a lot to see, and it's a great place to sort of rest up until we go down and start our journey toward Pondicherry. In India, each city has two names now, and that happened some years ago. So it used to be called Bombay, but now it's called Mumbai. It used to be called Kerala or Cochin, and now it's called Kochi. So if I say Pondicherry, here on this map it says Puducherry. So both names are right, and on different maps they're different. But Pondicherry is that if you haven't read The Life of Pi or seen the movie, get the movie and watch it. It's amazing. It's the place where The Life of Pi starts. The young boy his family has a circus, and they take off to sea from Pondicherry. I was given a tour a couple of times by the man who works in the city and gave Ang Lee all the tours around there to show him where he should film, and it's a beautiful. Much of India is colonized, and this is the French section, and the little hotels and the little shops and the little streets look very French, very much like a French seaside town. So it's beautiful. We're going to visit. There's a place where nuns work on linen doilies and napkins and tablecloths, and we're going to see them and watch them embroider, and you can buy these things to take them home. So one little tip, if we ever get around to talking about packing, is pack light and maybe save a little room in your suitcase, because you're going to see all kinds of beautiful things you want to take home or ship home. Do you want me to go on and just finish?
Yeah, so we'll go. Oh, what is that?
So on our way to Pondicherry, though, we see some ancient, gorgeous carvings and ruins, and we're going to see this juxtaposition of ancient and more modern all the way through our trip. From Pondicherry, we'll go down to Tanjavur, and you can read in the itinerary that's online. There's some beautiful temples there. We're going to be doing some really interesting things in each town. Madurai, which is further south, is really known globally for its absolutely spectacular temples. The temples are unbelievable. They're painted on the outside with all the different icons of their different gods, and there are hundreds of gods. And so it's just breathtaking, fascinating. They do an evening temple ceremony with candles that we can go to. Absolutely beautiful. Then we'll cut across. You see Kochi is circled on the west coast. We're going to cut across and go to Periyar, which is a beautiful rainforest. We'll take a spice tour. We'll see, there's a lot to see in that area. And then we'll have a couple of days. Everywhere we're staying is beautiful, and we'll do a little bit on the water. And then we'll go down to Cochin, and we'll have they're very famous. It's like the Venice of India. They have all these little different rivers and canals, and we'll go on a thatched covered houseboat. Um, you know, people are able to take a couple of day tours on these houseboats, but we're going to just spend an afternoon because we've got a beautiful hotel to go back to. And then,
Let's, oh,
yeah,
okay. I was gonna say we can go, I'm sorry if I interrupted, but just, we can start going through if you want, the actual itinerary. Right?
sure. One thing I will say, as you look at the itinerary, it does start on the 26th, day 2, because we count day 0 as leaving. But because India is 9.5 hours ahead already, and because of the time we leave, you actually get there the morning of the 26th, usually at like 2 in the morning. Some people coming from the West Coast might be getting there very late on the 25th. So I'm recommending, and everyone that I've worked with who's coming so far is coming in one night early. So we will leave on the
Leaving on
20,
the 23rd,
leaving on the 23rd.
right?
And so that involves just getting one extra night hotel, and there's some really fun activities that evening. I'm not charging anything extra myself for that. We're just going to charge 198, but everybody that I talk to individually thinks that's a really smart idea. And that's the night that I was able then to find a good friend in Chennai who said, yes, come to my penthouse. We'll do some cooking. We'll have a little music. So I just wanted to say, even though the trip officially starts on the 26th, if you come in a day early, you have a little bit of time to get over your jet lag and do some stuff with us.
And I also need to tell you guys that how wonderful Kiki's been about helping people with their flights and making sure that they're, understand the best way to get there, and hooking you up with somebody to help with the actual bookings and all that. So it's extra above and beyond is what I should say about Kiki helping with the arrangements. So you feel very confident about your
Well,
flight.
thanks, Jeannie. I mean, we are part of the tribe,
Yeah.
and we hope you'll want to come travel with us. And some people are traveling on their own or traveling to India for the first time. And I'm not just setting this stuff up, I'm there with you every minute. All you have to do is wake up and follow me. So it's a lot of fun, and it takes the worry out of it. And most people who travel with me love that. So
That's good.
that's just to set your mind at ease. And we're going to a very beautiful, just a beautiful part of India. So
Here we are on day 1. So day 1 is officially
you can keep scrolling because that's
okay.
just getting there and sleeping. And day 2
Yeah.
Is when we're going to look at some of these beautiful, um, there's such a history in India of royalty, and many of the gorgeous palaces. All the kings and queens had palaces, summer palaces, winter palaces, and a lot of them now have been turned into the famous hotels of the world. You've probably all seen that gorgeous palace hotel on the lake in Udaipur. That was formerly the king, who's still in Udaipur. A lot of the royal family are still there, and they still have the king's palace. But he sold the one on the lake to the Taj Hotel Group. So a lot of these different, this one, for example, some of them are just still current temples, and we can visit in their World UNESCO sites and things. But you'll see a lot of the very ancient, and then the newer as well. So we'll take a walk down by the sea. This is when we
Oh,
get.
sorry.
No, keep going.
Oh, keep going.
Um,
Okay.
yeah, there's a place called Mahabalipuram that I love. I love, and I'll never get tired of going there. And on our way to Pondicherry, we will stop there, and we'll have a really cool experience where we get to see what the history and local people do, and we'll get to walk around these beautiful carvings that are thousands of years old. So it's really enchanting. If you've ever been to a place like Italy, and you've seen the Roman ruins, and you are kind of steeped in that history where it's 2,500 years old, it's like that. It's just a different style, and a lot of carvings of elephants and gods and goddesses. This picture on the right is a group of women walking along the beach in Pondicherry, And it's a very pretty, safe, beautiful French town. So we're going to have fun there too. Um, that's another day in Pondicherry. We're going to be exploring. Um, there's there's beautiful places called stepwells, and there's beautiful water holes in the middle of most of the cities where the women would come and get water with their buckets and go home. It was a place for women to gather and meet and talk as well. Um, so this is just a little bit more. There's churches, there's temples in Pondicherry, and then we
And I
head.
see we have the embroidery, there's an embroidery center, things like that. We can go visit.
This is a little small for people to read, but we're going to visit the
Oh,
Clooney Embroidery Center. There's fabulous pottery. There's a couple of shops. There's quite a lot going on with NGOs where um, women are learning. They're bringing back some of the cultural work that was done in the past, or there's hand-dyed silk scarves and outfits that you can buy. This Eco Boutique has beautiful things. So we'll have a little bit of free time. We can walk around and do things, and we'll show you a couple of places to go. Um, I I could just drive around India for weeks, and hopefully you guys will really, really enjoy this too. But Tanjore is a gorgeous place. We're going to stop at a couple of different temples. This Ganka Chanda Cholapuram Shiva temple is has a very interesting, fun story that you'll hear. It's called the Break Stress Temple. And if you walk around the temple, heel to toe, all the way around, it says that if you are coming with anxiety or stress, it's gone afterwards. And I took a girlfriend and it worked for her. So we'll see if anybody needs to try that. But it's interesting and fun. And we might even chop a top off a coconut and drink some coconut milk. We'll see a lot of paintings and carvings. These look like they have to be fake, but they're not. They're big, huge, beautiful temples, and they're all hand painted with all of the different gods and goddesses. So I'm going to bring along a god and goddess book and try to read to you about some of the most famous. And we're going to have an Indian woman with us the whole trip as well, um, who's going to be telling us and answering questions. She's local to India and a certified. She's studied guiding all over the country, so that's going to be really fun for things that I can't answer or that we want to Google. She can tell you all the stories. We can go to an evening ceremony too in Madurai. That'll be beautiful. So you can see it during the day, and then it's a very different experience to go at night when the candles are lit and it's just beautiful on the grounds there. Here's another day in Madurai. We're going to go to the flower market, which is a great experience. We're going to have a dress up time and some cooking. So we're trying to find experiences where we meet other women who are local, which you like to do all the time, right, Jeannie? You always
Oh,
love to
yeah,
meet
that's my favorite.
local women, talk to them, hear from them. Everyone's so beautiful and kind, and it's fun. So there's a few little surprises I'm not going to tell you about, but they're all special. Good photo ops.
Yes.
Um, Now we head then over to Periyar, which is really like almost like a safari. It's a rainforest. They have a tiger reserve. They have a lot of wildlife. We never know what we're going to see, but we are most likely to see elephants, and if we're lucky, we'll see a tiger, and we'll see a lot of different deer and local wildlife. Sometimes you can see the little warthogs, which I love. And we'll go out on a boat and check out some things around Periyar. It's beautiful. There's a spice garden, so we'll get a guided tour around the spice garden, and then we'll get to go to a market where we can buy spices and take them home, and they're so much less expensive. Like saffron is so expensive in this country, and you can really get a great deal on that. The first time I knew about stevia was because our spice tour guide said, "Oh, try one of these." And he handed me a leaf off this tree, and I just touched it to my tongue, and it was absolute sugar, it was stevia. So this natural substance just grows on a leaf. So we'll learn a lot about how things grow, and we'll see the pepper plants and how the peppercorns crawl up. the trees and the tea gardens. So it's just it's fun. You learn a lot. You'll get to bring some fresh, wonderful spices home.
And will we see tigers?
Mm, I hope so. That might be another trip. There's some incredible tiger parks around India as well. But this is a tiger area, and we would, if we want to see the tigers, we'll be we'll be of course protected if we go into that part of the park.
I love this picture of these. What is this plantings here on the
Those
right?
are all tea trees. And
Oh,
it's beautiful. We'll drive by a lot of those. And you see the trees, the tall trees that are sticking up out of them.
yeah.
They're to provide shade and then to be just smart about the way they're doing things. They have the pepper plants growing up those trees. So everything's utilized, which is fun.
That's great. And is this the kind of boat we'll be on?
In Periyar, yes, I'll show you another kind of boat that we'll be on when we get down to Kerala. But we'll take a little boat tour um, and we can also walk around and look and see if we see any elephants and what kind of wildlife we see from the boat.
Yeah, I think it'd be great to see tigers from the boat versus walking around.
You kitty.
Oh, this is beautiful.
These boats are wonderful. They're really fun. So we'll take an afternoon on the boat. It's very peaceful. We'll just be going up and down the river, and we'll see what people are doing with their daily lives. Often women will be out washing clothes by the river. Kids will be swimming. There's little temples you can see on the side of the rivers, and then we'll have a really delicious lunch as well. So
Nice.
it's a fun adventure. Marari is a beautiful, look at this great little resort. So we can swim, we'll do some cooking. There's a lot of cultural different things that we're going to try and we'll learn. We can walk around the area with family. We'll have some free time. We can, at that point, somebody might want a massage. I know I always do. So we'll have a whole host of things that we can choose to do. And then we'll have a special dinner in their farm kitchen and get to see some samples of how things are cooked.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's very, very pretty. The picture on the left there are they're called Chinese fishing nets, and it's a whole art of the way they fish down there that we can watch. And then these are special dancers that we're going to go to a wonderful show our last night and have a special dinner. So we'll get to see local dance, local music, just a little bit of a taste of all the ways that people live in this region.
And then I like this pictures of the hotels too, because the hotels are all 5-star hotels. I mean, these are beautiful hotels here. That looks gorgeous.
Very pretty. Some of the hotels in India, they don't star, especially if you're in the boutique range, but they're definitely in the higher bracket of beautiful hotels.
Right.
And they're
Okay.
very comfortable. And that probably relates to the price as well. I like to, when I started traveling and bringing people with me, my goal was to do as much of a luxury trip as I could at a moderate price, because this trip would be a lot more expensive if you were doing it with a different agency. And I don't have a huge building in New York and a ton of people working for me. I have a small team, and I don't have to have as big a price point range. And I pick beautiful little boutique places, really wherever I take trips, and I take trips all over lead trips all over the world. I'd rather stay in a comfortable, local, beautiful boutique place where you get to know people than the stamp. I mean, Ritzes are great, but you're going to get the same Ritz whether you're in Egypt or India, and we want the local feel of the place. So to be able to get out into the countryside and be at a family run place where they're taking great pride in cooking for you, I'm hoping that you find that as wonderful as I do. And it brings,
yeah, I wanted to say that that's kind of what the Next Tribe, what we try to do. You're always going to be comfortable. It's always going to be very, very nice, but we are not going into with the idea that we're going to be weighted on hand and foot and live in a bubble. I mean, when I think of going to some of the highest luxury places, I always feel like it's you put yourself in a bubble versus, like you were saying, in a smaller hotel. It can be just as beautiful, and you really it can form some relationships and see more of the culture. So I love that.
Yeah, it's fun traveling in India because in certain countries, things are very, very expensive, but you're going to find that in India, people expect you to bargain with them. They kind of want you to bargain with them. And if there's every once in a while, there's a place, the cottage industry or something where you're not allowed to bargain. But otherwise, I've been doing it for years and I love to bargain, and I can help. I can show people how, that really should be that much money. And so you're not insulting anybody, and it's kind of fun. And no matter how much I say I'm not going to go home with stuff, I always bring Christmas gifts and things home for people because it's just lovely.
So I thought that what we do now, because we have about 15 minutes left, I thought that if there's any questions we can answer, if you're going to ask a question, please put on your video and unmute yourself if you want to ask anything. Anybody have a question? It's
Nancy's
Nancy.
raising her hand. Yeah, just unmute, Nancy.
There you
I'm
there,
unmuted.
yes.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm good? Okay. My questions are practical. Are we going to get any sort of a packing list? Or I've read that you want to dress modestly while you're there, and it's going to be warm, I'm assuming.
Yes, great questions. And yes, we'll get a packing list. It is going to be warm, and I'll give you the range for when we're there, but it's refreshing because for someone like me, I'll be coming from a cold part of the country.
Right.
I really recommend, I love these super light travel pants, and I can give a few recommendations. Companies like Columbia or Athleta
Okay.
sell them. It's true, if we're going to go to any temples, we have to be long skirts or pants, and we have to have long sleeves or shawls.
Mhm.
So I always have a shawl in my purse or my little backpack for the day. And I love layering. So I will wear sleeveless shirts with very light, I won't wear shorts or a short skirt, but I'll wear, a long skirt or a long sundress, and then just have that shawl to roll on. So if it's hot and we're just traveling by ourselves and we're on the ocean and we're taking walks, it's no problem. And you will see people walking with short shorts and girls with really short skirts. And
Yeah.
that's just what some people are doing these days. But to be respectful, and you're not allowed in a temple with your arms showing or a short skirt. So those people will miss out. But just to be respectful and comfortable, it really is comfortable and nice to wear linen, flowy things. If you've got any long sundresses, those are going to be really appropriate. And then to just bring like a little shawl or a light sweater to wear over them. It can be cool, just like in the summer, if you're in a warm place, even in Florida or something, it can be cool at night. So you just might want to bring one warmer shawl or sweater that you can wear a lot of.
Okay. Will we have any laundry opportunities? If we want to pack light,
Yes.
maybe halfway through be able to launder some things.
Absolutely. Many of the hotels, when we get there, we can say, hey, can we drop our laundry off and get it the next morning?
Okay.
Yeah, they're
That
great.
helps.
Yeah.
I
Okay,
have
Olga. Is that
I have
Olga?
one more
Oh,
question.
go ahead, Nancy. Okay.
Okay, so I read that and I don't know if this is correct, we need a visa?
Yes, it's very easy. It's an e-visa, so electronic. I'll give you the directions. I'll give you the link. It's very, very easy to get, and I can help anybody who needs that.
Okay.
Yeah, and you can
We'll all need one then.
Yes, you'll all need one.
And
Okay,
Olga, if you can unmute, Olga, where are you driving?
Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody. Wonderful to hear. I'm so excited, especially about tigers and the boats and everything. But Kiki, question. I know that January, February is the wedding season in India. Do you think any way we can kind of have visited some Indian wedding? Maybe somebody knows somebody for an evening or whatever.
That
Whatever.
is that is such a fun question, and I'll tell you a
I
story.
went once many years ago with my fabric vendor. I visited 5 weddings. It was insane. I'm so into that. I'm like, can't wait to see another wedding with elephants, horses, or whatever. It's unbelievable. So
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah, very often just driving down the street or driving to one destination or another, you'll see a big, beautiful wedding set up. And there's a very good chance there could be one either at a hotel that we're staying at or next door. And then, we could wander over. I was staying at a hotel years ago in Jaipur, and the wedding was on a portion of the grounds of the hotel I was staying in. And as I walked by, one of the local people from the wedding said, come in, let's show you the wedding." And so I got dragged in and danced a little and got to sit on the they're very welcoming. So if we have an opportunity to do that, I will keep my eyes open. I may even talk to the people who are local at the hotels and say, "What's going on?"
I'd love that. That's fabulous. And they last because they last a long time. They last like 4 or 5 days, right? The
At
wedding.
least 2 days, yeah.
That's great. Well, so what I want to say is I'd love to be hear from you guys. I know some of you have already signed up, but if you haven't, we're really hoping to get everyone by the end of this month, end of October. So please let us know if you have any questions and how we can help. As I said, Kiki's wonderful about helping with the flight. She was helping me with my flight this morning. So and
feel free to email. Just email me if you have questions, and we'll set up a time to call. I want to make sure everybody gets there on time and with some time to rest. And
yes, I appreciate it. So and I know some of the people who signed up couldn't make it, so this recording is going to be available to those people, and anybody here we'll send the recording link. So if there's anything you want to go over again, you'll have that. So thank you to everybody for coming on a Friday, and thank you, Kiki. I know you have a very busy night, and enjoy your.
I'll stay on for a minute with you if you can,
Yes.
Janie.
Okay,
And
great.
Nancy, I know you're nearby. I'm sorry I didn't see you in New York, and
Yeah, hopefully we'll see each other soon.
absolutely.
If not,
Yes.
in January.
Yes,
Okay.
and great to see you, Nancy.
Yeah, good to see you. And good luck in Asheville.
Thank you. Thank
I heard
you.
you're going to do an Asheville trip.
I am. I'm putting together, it's going to be in April. So we'll that's coming next week. I'm going to put it next week. And there's
Drive safe, Olga.
yes, Olga, anything else? Wait, hold on a second. You need to unmute.
I have another quick
Oh,
question.
okay.
I know we probably will be busy.
We
Olga,
can't hear you, Olga. I think.
Olga,
Right.
we can't hear you.
I said I was wondering, do you hear me? I was wondering about a dance lesson and treatments in Kerala, like more Ayurvedic treatments.
If that's something you want to stay after and do, like extend your trip or something, you can talk to me about that.
But there is we have one treatment place we're going to have treatments, the Ayurvedic treatments, right?
Yeah, if you want to sign up for it, there's the option. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, great. And the dance lesson, probably we will not have time for that, right?
We might. God, you're scaring me. What are you driving?
I know. I'm like, I don't want to see an accident.
Me neither. We are definitely going to see some great dancers. I can look at our schedule and see if you've got some free time, you know, if we've got free time in the afternoon and a group of us want to try to get a dance lesson, I can see if I can arrange that.
Yeah, I definitely, I'm planning to start learning now in New York, some Indian, I don't know, whatever will be, and then maybe finish it up in India. So we'll see.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, that's gonna be super fun.
That sounds great. You might have to teach all of us, and I'll
Yes.
get in on it with you.
Okay, well, thank you to everyone.
Okay.
Have a great weekend.